Hello, everybody. Welcome to Real Talk Fins Talk. Man, I got a lot of news to talk about today, man. We got some breaking news. I know I set up the show today. The title was the Miami Dolphins showed their true colors in Pittsburgh. And man, but we got some bigger news than that. We all know what the Miami Dolphins are. They're the same old Dolphins, right? We've seen it. We've seen it for 3-4 years now. They beat the bad teams and they lose to the good teams. They might win one game against a good team during the course of the year or something like that. But for the most part, they're the same old Dolphins. So, but the biggest news and the bigger news is, first off, let me thank everybody for joining the chat tonight. Before I forget, make sure you hit that like button. If you're new to the channel, hit that bell down there. Share with your friends, your families, and your neighbors. Now for the big news. And I think everybody knows by now, the Miami Dolphins have benched Tua Tagovailoa. Finally, they benched this guy. Finally. Not only did they bench him, but they made him the third string quarterback, the emergency quarterback, third string. Yes, you heard that right. And that's where he belongs. And here's the thing. I think by doing that, the organization has shown. Now, this is just a speculation. This is my opinion. I don't know. I don't have any sources. I'm not a fly on the wall in there in the facilities, so I don't know. But this is my opinion, and it's looking like the Miami Dolphins are going to release Tua Tagovailoa at the end of the season, or at least post June 1st. That's what I would recommend. Anyway, I don't know if that's what they're going to do. They trade partner. I don't know. Maybe that's why they're putting him in as the third string. So if something happens to, of course, our starting quarterback is Quinn Ewers. Now, am I excited about Quinn Ewers? Sure. I'm excited in one way. I'm excited because we get to see what the young man has. Do I think he's our future? I don't know. Not at this point. We don't have any sample size, right? And even 3 games is really not going to show us much, right? It may show flashes here and there, but to be honest with you, even if we win these next 3 games, or even if we don't win the next 3 games, we win the next 1 or 2, whatever it is, and he has a good showing and he looks competent out there, shows some flashes, maybe he can be our backup next year. That's how I see it. I don't know if he's going to be a starter, but he could be, right? I mean, he could have 3 great games against Tampa, against the New England Patriots, and against Cincinnati coming up. And we'll get into that game, the Cincinnati Bengals game coming up this week. I mean, he could have some really good games, right? I don't have any high expectations for Quinn Ewers. I really don't. If he plays average or, okay, good. Maybe he can compete for a starting job next year. Whoever the quarterback that we draft or bring in as a stopgap. I don't know what we're going to do, which way we're going to go. It doesn't look like we're going to have a high first-round pick, right? And a lot of those quarterbacks, first-rounders anyway, a lot of them are going back to school, back to college. They're not going to, claim the NFL draft. So we'll see how that goes. But, hey, we could always draft a quarterback in the second round. Jalen Hurts drafted in the second round. So you don't always have to draft a first rounder, all you would like to, right? You want to draft that first round pick. Mendoza's definitely going in the first round. He's probably going to go to the Jets. Nobody, unless somebody gives up their staple of draft picks and a few, decent starters in order to move up, maybe. But I think the Jets are probably going to get Mendoza because they really have all the stock, all the rookies, all the draft picks, right? To get rookies. But anyway, pick rookies. So what I'm saying is, I think they might just said, you know what? If something happens to Ewers, he doesn't work out or whatever, maybe they get to see a little bit of Zach Wilson. But honestly, I want to see Ewers. I don't care about Zach Wilson. He's on a 1-year contract. I don't think he'll be here next year. We know what he has. right? We know what he is. He's played 37 NFL starts. We know what he is, what he can do. We don't know what Ewers can do. We've only seen his college tape, right? In one game this past year where he did come in for a little while, and he threw one a good, one or two good passes. Other than that, he didn't look very good at all. So, hey, we got to give the guy a chance. They put him to the fire. He wasn't expecting to go in, and he went in and he played. Okay. Now he's going to have at least a week to prepare, whatever it is, 4 or 5 days to prepare to be the starter. Now he knows he's the starter. It's a whole different mindset. He's going to get first team reps, all that good stuff. So I'm excited. I'm not just excited because Tua has been benched, because I've been talking about this kid for 3 or 4 years already, about Tua Tagovailoa, that he ain't it. He ain't it. And as we can see, he's gotten benched. So, he was having a terrible year. I mean, he wasn't only contributing to the losses to this team, but he's held this team back. This year, he has contributed to a lot of the losses, and he's been holding the team back for the last 2, 3, 4 years, right? And not only at least the last 2 years, because he got the big contract. And guess who went up the bat for him to get the big contract? Yes, the one and only Mike McDaniel. And do I believe for a moment he's the one that benched Tua Tagovailoa? No, I do not. I do not believe that for one iota. I think it was somebody somebody above him, above his pay grade. I think it might have been Champ Kelly. It might have been Stephen Ross. I said, "Hey, man, we got to make some changes here with this quarterback. He's not putting us in a good position, and we're out of the playoffs now. Give this guy Quinn Ewers a chance to operate in this offense." And then this myth about Mike McDaniel. Oh my God, he built up Tua and he made him what he is and all this kind. No, he didn't. Tua has always been what he is. Okay. The only thing Mike McDaniel did to Tua Tagovailoa, and you can go back in my videos in the past, and I've been saying this, all he did was disguise his deficiencies. He put all his weaknesses in a little box, put it in the closet, locked the door, and worked on his strengths, which is good philosophy, right? That was good. It worked for a little while. But then when he realized what Tua really, really was, right? Then he did all the motions, all the cheap motions. They got Tyreek Hill and all this kind of stuff. People forget we had a good running game back then. We had a decent offensive line. Yeah, sure, injuries hurt and all that kind of stuff, but we still had a pretty solid offensive line, and we had a good running game. We forget that, don't we? And what happens? Every time we played the good teams, we lost. Every time we went into the playoffs, right, which was twice, once with Skylar Thompson, once with Tua Tagovailoa, what happened? He crapped the bed. Craps the bed in the big games. Always, always, always. This goes all the way back to when we first drafted this kid. And I was all for drafting him. I didn't know a lot about him. All I knew, he won, the championship with Alabama and all this kind of stuff. And, I was all hyped up. Oh, man, we got our franchise quarterback. First year or two, I saw him play, and I'm like, oh, man, I don't know about this guy, and I still had hope. But now, he definitely ain't it, and I'm happy. And you know what? The fan base should be happy too. Not just because they benched Tua Tagovailoa, but we're going in a different direction now. The team, the organization, okay? That's what I'm happy about. They've made changes. They've fired Chris Greer. They released those 2 personnel directors that had been here forever and a day. Those are some changes. We got Champ Kelly, and he's an interim. I don't know. Maybe is he going to be the GM next year? I don't know. Maybe not. It's hard to say. Who knows? But if they don't fire Mike McDaniel, that is malpractice by this organization. Okay? Mike McDaniel is terrible as a head coach. Terrible, terrible, terrible. And it's gone on for 4 years. We've had this guy making bad calls, chickening out on the running game, can't even get what do they call that? A challenge, right? Delay of games, penalties all over the place. I just didn't like the culture he brought here to the Miami Dolphins organization. Okay. And we need a culture change too, as well. Hopefully that happens in the offseason. We'll know if Mike McDaniel isn't fired after the season, then I'm gonna be back in that mode of just being fed up, frustrated, aggravated, and I'm just not gonna be very happy with this Miami Dolphins organization. I want to see changes in the front office too. Okay. Whether you want to keep Champ Kelly, fine, keep Champ Kelly, but he better pick another coach. He better get another coach. Quarterback Tua, he's gone. As far as I'm concerned, I don't think he'll be here next year. I don't think he's going to be here next year. We're just going to eat the cap. Post June 1st, you get rid of him, and you can spread out that money, the dead cap, for 2 years, right? So it won't hurt that bad. Tyreek Hill, he's gone. Bradley Chubb, he's probably gone. We don't have the money, folks. People think we got all this money like it grows on trees and like Ross is just going to put out the credit card all the time. No, he's not. There's a reason why there's a cap in the NFL, okay? And right now we're in cap hell. I don't know. Are we going to pay Achan because he's going to demand some monies? Are we going to pay Jordan Brooks? He's going to demand money, okay? Minka Fitzpatrick, is he going to be around? He's going to want a contract. There's going to be some folks that are going to want a new contract, okay? And right now, what we need to do, in my opinion, I don't know if they're going to do this, in my opinion, we need to clean the books, man. We need to get our finances right. We need to get our get out of cap hell, okay? Once we do that, and then we can start, what I would do is I would develop rookies. I would get as many draft picks as I can, trade some folks if you have to. Hey, trade Waddle, trade Achan. You think we're going to be good in the next 2 or 3 years? Do you think we're going to be good in the next 1 or 2 years? Let's put it that way. In the 1 or 2 years? I don't think so. It's going to be another 3-4 years unless we pull a Bo Nix. We pull him out of a hat. Or a New England Patriots, we pull a Drake May, because as you can see, ladies and gentlemen, a quarterback makes the big difference in today's game. You can have a good O-line, you can have an average O-line, you can have a great running game or an average running game, but it doesn't matter. You got to have a quarterback that can make plays, that can go off script, that can get out of pressure, make some plays when he has to on his own. Okay? You can't be worried about a quarterback being injured all the time, or protecting him, putting him in a bubble. Can't even make a first down. Slides 2 yards before the first down marker. Even though we know Tua Tagovailoa's his awareness, his self-awareness is terrible. Terrible. Can't read defenses. Right? Spot throwing. And ladies and gentlemen, I don't know. I know I've been hearing a lot of stuff about him. Well, he's regressed because of his hip and because of the concussions he had and all that. And I've said it myself. But really, is that really what we're going to say? I don't know. Maybe it is. Maybe it is. I don't know. But they asked him today, hey, has the hip affected you? And asked Tua today, has the hip affected you this year? Was that the problem? Yeah, so he said right away, no. Now, he may be protecting himself, right? He doesn't have to put that information out, especially if he wants to go play for another team, right? But anyway, I digress with Tua Tagovailoa. I'm just so happy about the benching, getting a chance to see a fresh start with a brand new quarterback. I've got another shot in the arm, Adrian. Thanks for joining, brother. I got a shot in the arm, brother. Tua Tagovailoa benched to third-string quarterback where he belongs. I got another shot in the arm. I'm ready. I'm excited for this team now. I'm excited again for this team. Oh, man, and you guys should be too. Not just because of the Tua thing, although I am, but because this organization is making some changes and possibly going in the right direction. But the next decision I want them to make, even before quarterback, is I want Mike McDaniel gone. He's Finito. Finished. In my book. He's not a head coach. And doggone it, he may not even be a doggone offensive coordinator. I question some of the calls, some of the concepts he puts out there on the field. And just for the fact that he pounded the table for Tua Tagovailoa, his little pet project that has failed. Failed. And you're going to keep him around? No. Bye. Anyway, I dropped the link, ladies and gentlemen. If you're in the chat, if you join the chat, or excuse me, join the show tonight, you can hit that link, come up here, talk, tell me what you're feeling about the future, what you feel about the Tua Tagovailoa being benched, or anything you want to talk about. Come on up, hit that link, join me tonight. But anyway, so we played against the Pittsburgh Steelers this past week, and look, down deep in my gut, I knew we were going to lose this game. Okay? I really did. I was hoping, maybe they did change a little bit. Maybe the running game is a lot better than we suspected, or the O-line is better than what we suspected. Look, the Pittsburgh Steelers were playing without TJ Watt. They were playing with a 4-string offensive tackle. And they were playing without 3 or 4 of their starters, and we still got dominated by the Steelers. What does that say? We're the same old Dolphins. Same old Dolphins. Has the line been the problem this year? Yes and no. Yes and no. When Tua was getting the ball out fast, right, at 2.1 or 2 seconds, he was able to get the passes, get some passes off, right? But when the receivers weren't open or they were covered, that O-line couldn't hold. Okay, that's when it was exposed. So this Miami Dolphins football team still has a lot of work to do. Is Tua the only problem? No, he's not. He contributed a lot this year to the problem. But in the past, he hasn't been the total problem. But he hasn't been the solution either. So yes, do we have to fix the O-line? Sure. Yeah, I would say we need somebody that can stay healthy on that right side. Austin Jackson, he's always hurt. Can we upgrade? Yeah, we could upgrade in the right tackle spot. I think we should. I think Jonas Evaniah is still going to. He's going to be here, right? He signed a rookie contract guaranteed, so he's going to be here. So the left side is solidified, whether we like it or not. Even though he's one of the worst, if not the worst guard in football. Center Aaron Brewer. There's another one I didn't mention. We're going to have to sign Aaron Brewer. He's going to want another contract. Is he going to want to stick around for 2 or 3 years of mediocrity, or even worse than next year? I mean, worse team than this year? Because let me tell you guys, who we play next year. Now, this isn't solid, but these are the folks we're going to play next year. Okay? Let me see if I can find it. There we go. All right. So in 2026, road games. These are the road games. We're going to have to play the Denver Broncos, the Green Bay Packers, the Minnesota Vikings, the Buffalo Bills. Of course, we play them twice. New England Patriots. Of course, we play them twice. New York Jets. And the Las Vegas Raiders. Okay? Right there. I know I'm being I'm being premature. Right there, I don't see but maybe 2 wins. Maybe. out of those road games. Home games: Chicago Bears, Detroit Lions, Los Angeles Chargers, Kansas City Chiefs. We know Mahomes is probably going to be okay next year. We don't know what time of the year we're going to play him at this point, right? That's to be determined. But he's going to be back playing. Okay? I don't think Kansas City's going to be as bad as they were this year. But even so, Cincinnati again. Of course, Buffalo, New England, and New York again. I don't see us winning maybe 1 or 2 there. I'm already calling. We only may win 3 games next year, maybe 4, maybe. So does Aaron Brewer want to be here? Does Jordan Brooks want to be here? Does Achane want to play with us again for another 2 years, knowing that we're going to probably, well, we can't predict, we don't know, but you know, we could have a we can imagine what it's going to be like with those games, right? Of course, it's premature to call it, but it doesn't look good. And not only that, but with the beating that Achane has taken this year, especially and last year, do you think he's going to be the same next year or the year before or the year after or the year after that? You better get your assets for him now. You better trade him, now after the season and get some assets. That's what I would do. Oh no, not Achane. See, a lot of Dolphins fans, they fall in love with these players. Oh no, Waddle. What has he done for us? We didn't go to the playoffs. We're out of the playoffs. Achane, we're out of the playoffs. What'd you do for us, buddy? But make us look good playing against bad teams. Now, I'm not saying that Achane's not a great athlete. He makes something out of nothing when he runs that ball. I love Achane. But let's be realistic here, ladies and gentlemen. We're not going to be a competitive team for at least another 3-4 years, in my opinion. Unless a miracle happens and, we put all the pieces together, the Miami Dolphins does everything right, and everything goes well. We get a good quarterback. We got, we got a good O-line. We put those pieces together. Our defense is, is good again. I mean, it was good this year too. Well, after, the first few weeks it wasn't, but it started getting better even against bad teams. It was still playing good, right? They played good against Buffalo. So we're going to be losing some pieces and we're going to be gaining some pieces, but we don't know who they're going to be right now. We don't have the monies to spend big money on big names. And I don't want to do that anyway. We've done that before. We've gone that route before. Let's go through the draft. Let's suffer it out for 3 or 4 years, build through the draft, develop those players, keep some of the development players that we have on the team right now, those rookies we drafted, right? Kenneth Grant, I know he hasn't had a good year. He's top, pick, right? Number 1 pick. But defensive tackles take a couple years to develop. Maybe he gets better next year, right? Keep him. Jordan Phillips has showed promise. Zeke Biggers has showed some promise. Those are 3 tackles. I don't know. Are we going to keep Zeeler? Probably. Right. That's a good rotation of defensive tackles right now. We released Judon today, right? We released him. But we still got Chop Robinson. Again, he had a sophomore slump. He hasn't done well this year. He had 1 or 2 good games, average games. But other than that, he hasn't played that well either this year. So, and Bradley Chubb, he may not be here next year. We might be in the hunt for a couple edge rushers, right? Whether that be through the draft or free agency, but we're not going to get any big time players. I hope that we don't go that route again. I hope we do it. We play the game smart and we get all our players through the draft and then fill in the pieces with some backups, some veteran backups, maybe. I think that would work out, right? I don't know. I don't know what they're going to do, man. All I know is I'm happy. I'm happy we're going in the right direction. I'm feeling great about it right now. I don't know how I'm going to feel after the season if we don't get rid of Mike McDaniel, but right now I'm happy. I'm just can't wait to see what Ewers does. I don't expect a lot from him, um, but this is the best game. This is the best game for him to start out at, right? Get his first start at. Okay, Cincinnati Bengals. Their defense, if you look at their rankings in all categories, they're way at the bottom. I think on 2 or 3 categories they're like 32nd in the league. So their defense really, really is bad. All the way around. Pass defense, run defense, you name it, they're bad. And so if this is the first start for Ewers, this is the best start for him, playing against a team like Cincinnati. Now, the question is, we're playing against Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow is having some problems this year. He's having some mental problems, and he's having some mental health issues, I should say. And hasn't really been playing that well. Okay. But he's still Joe Burrow. Their passing attack is still ranked 10th in all of football. So their passing attack is still very good. So we're gonna have to put some pressure on Joe Burrow. Okay, we're gonna have to shake him up. They got Higgins, they got Chase. Those are some good receivers. Chase Brown he's a solid running back, nothing special. I mean, he's solid, but they're playing against our defense. Now, I will say this. Anthony Weaver had that defense prepared for the Pittsburgh Steelers until our offense couldn't do anything. And then, our defense just kind of broke down after that, right? But how long can you expect your defense to hold up when your offense is not complimenting you, right? And they were hitting hard, too. I got to give them credit for that. So, and that's another thing. Is Anthony Weaver going to be here next year? Remember, he got an interview for coaching, this past year. So maybe he won't be here. We may have a whole new team, organization, everything from top to bottom. And that's what we need to do. We need to blow this popsicle stand. We need to blow it up. We need to get everything from coaching to players. We need to just start a whole new fresh slate again. That's what we need to do. That's what we need to do. And McDaniel is the first one to go at the end of this year. Soon as this football season ends, I better see Mike McDaniel gone. Because he ain't it. So that's my rant tonight. That's my rant tonight about this team. As I said, I'm happy. I'm happy that we got rid of we got rid of Greer. The other two bozos that we got rid of, player personnel, and then the other bozo benched and is now our third string quarterback. $53 million third string quarterback. Sad, sad, sad. Thank you, McDaniel. Thank you very much. And Greer. But anyway, that's really all I wanted to talk about tonight, guys. I just wanted to, get that rant off. I'm very happy. I'm actually feeling great. I'm really looking forward to the up and coming game, Cincinnati. I don't have that nauseating feeling in my stomach anymore. Like I've had this whole year. Every game we played, I had this nauseating feeling. I was all bundle of nerves. I'm like, oh, what's going to happen? What are we going to do? Was Tua going to throw 2-3 more interceptions? Is he going to fumble the ball? Is he going to get hurt? It was just a bad feeling. But now We're not in the playoffs. We're not going to make the playoffs. There's no chance. So I'm happy. I'm happy that we're making the necessary changes that need to be done. So, ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you very much for joining me tonight. I will be on again next week, Tuesday, 7:30 Eastern Standard Time. And hopefully we got some good news. We can talk about, Quinn Ewers, and hopefully we win, because I still want to win. It's my team, the Miami Dolphins. I still want to win, but I'm not so a big bundle of nerves now, because there was a lot of stuff going on this year with people, getting out their calculators and, well, if this team wins and that team loses and blah, 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 blah. That map they always draw out. Oh, we can do this, we can do that, blah, blah, blah. That just got me mad, man. Made me frustrated and aggravated. Not anymore. I'm happy. Hey, Finn Sammy, how you doing, brother? Hey guys, make sure you catch Finn Sammy on the Finn's TV. He'll be on. Make sure you go over there, hit that subscribe button, like button. Also, Adrian on the Rainy Day podcast. He not only does the Miami Dolphins. If you're interested in wrestling, college football, he does it all. He does all that. So make sure you go check out Adrian over there at Rainy Day podcast as well. And he's also on this show at times, along with he's on Finn's TV as well with Finn Sammy a lot too. So you can catch him over there as well. But yeah, I want to thank you tonight. As I said, I'll be on again next week at 7:30 Eastern Time on the Finn's Talk Sports Network. Thank you for letting me get my rant off tonight. I'm happy. I'm elated. I know Tua wasn't all of the problem. We still have a lot of work to do. We got a lot of stuff we got to correct in this organization, from the front office all the way down to the trenches, right? On the football team. And it's going to be interesting all season for sure. I'm looking forward to it. So thanks again, guys. Appreciate y'all for joining. God bless. And don't forget, Dolphins #1, baby.